one of the things that I've heard is a reason that people might stray away or might criticize Christianity is they feel that the people who are sharing the information to them about it, there's some hypocrisy. Right. So I don't know if you can speak about university or Liberty University in general, or maybe just Christianity in general, but is there ever talk about hypocrisy at your school about how, like, because obviously, like, you want to, when you see something like the Olympics, it's like these people need Jesus, they need love. It's like a loving culture. Is there ever talk about, like, even just the more tactical ways of, like, how can you convince someone to see the light of Jesus, or how can you make it so that you don't push someone away? Like, you might be trying to do good, like the guy on the street corner who's like yelling Bible verses through his megaphone, but that might make people think you're like a weirdo and then be like, yeah, oh, I saw that Christian screaming on the street corner, I'm gonna not be a Christian now either. Like, does any talk about that?
Yeah, like, for sure. I mean, in any group, you're gonna have that person. I always say this saying, it's like the worst things come from good intentions. You know what I mean? Like, people want to do good, but, you know, maybe they don't always go about the best way of doing it. I mean, and I've heard things like, you know, people come to Liberty, Christians who, you know, want to grow, like, in their, like, faith and relationship with God, and they move away from it, you know, because, you know, you have a few encounters of, you know, people who, you know, don't go about it the right way, and it almost freaks you out a little bit. But I don't know, like, at our school, like, we talk about a lot of ways of how you can, you know, you can share the gospel and share the love for Jesus in different ways. And being like a sport major, we learn about how to do that through sports. And it's not even like, you know, after your game, you ask a player from another team if they want to sit down for like a Bible session. Like, it's not like that. It's the way you, like, conduct yourself. Got it. And, like, it's as simple as that. Like, it's genuinely, like, you carry yourself as, like, a kind-hearted person who is willing to do selfless work for other people, you know, whether that be at work, at school, playing sports, like your sportsmanship, like, just things like that, like, just being a good person because that's, like, what Jesus wants of you. Like, that is, I think, one of the best ways you can kind of share that with other people without, you know, being like, you should be a Christian, this is why, like, you know what I mean? Because people get to know you as a good person. People get to know you as a helpful person. People get to know you as a loving person. And then they realize, oh, well, this person's a Christian. I thought Christian people were like this. I thought people, like, Christians were like this. Like, you know what I mean? So, things like that. I think it just, you got to show it through your actions. And like I said, like, people try to do that and it might come across as, you know, overwhelming. But it's good intentions. It's not people trying to convert you because, you know, what you're doing is terrible. And that's a thing too. Like, something so great about being a Christian is you don't need to come, like, that was like a huge thing for me, is like, I do not stack up against, like, these Christian kids that I know. Like, these kids are, like, they're super good kids, and, like, I mean, I'm a good kid, but, like, they're super good kids. Like, these are, like, the things that they follow every day. These are, like, how they, you know, talk to people. I'm like, I could never just, like, stack up against it. But that's just, like, the best thing about Christianity is you go in how you are, and Jesus changed. Like, Jesus helps you through that. You don't have to go in like this amazing person and all of this stuff. Like, you go in exactly how you are, and you let the timing work it out. But yeah, it's all about delivery, I think. Some people, I mean, less is more sometimes, I think, when it comes to that. Even, like, if it's like I said, like, between two Christians, like, people who are looking to grow like in their faith, and they come across that one person who just freaks them out a little bit, and you're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. So yeah, it really just depends. Like, in every group that you meet, no matter what, like, religious or not, like, in every group of people and every whatever, like, there's gonna be that one person or a couple people that just aren't doing it right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. There was So you did say that on the first episode about how when you got there, it's just like, it was eye opening. It was like, oh my goodness, this is not at all what I had in mind of like the stereotypical Christian. And I would have to think, I'm going to give a shout out to Andrew Peters, that he played a big part in that. And like, tell me more about that, because 1 year later, we're still here, still got Andrew Peters in the picture. And I actually did want to ask you about, how is that damn plane that you flew in? That looks sick.
It was awesome. For those who don't know, we went on our 1 year anniversary in a plane because he's a pilot. So yeah, it was really cool. It was scary.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, it was really scary. But it was good. I trust him. He's super good at what he does, and he's super professional.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely played a super big part in it, just because he is the way he is, and he loves the way he is because of his religious beliefs. And like, that was so like, that part, like, especially like my relationship with him was like super eye-opening, because I'm like, I love this person because he believes in Jesus. And not necessarily because he believes in Jesus, but like the values and the character traits he gets because of that. And like, even like to like backtrack a little bit, like when I first like came to Liberty, like I was walking around with my parents, and just one of the girls who went to the school just came up to me and was like, hey, like, do you need help? Like, do you know what building you're looking for? And I was just like, I was like taken aback by that a little bit, because I'm like, I don't know this person. Like, she doesn't know me. She's asking me if I need help. Like, I'm here with my parents. And I'm like, oh, like, I'm okay. And like, just even that like simple interaction, like the first person I got to school, and I'm like, wow, like these kids here are really nice. And like, I'm thinking like from my point of view back then, I'm like, these people are really nice for no reason. Like, what's going on right now? Like, what is going on? But yeah, he's played a really big part into that, from the learning aspect too, because like it's nice because I have someone like that who, you know, he was raised in like a Christian home, Christian family, Christian values like throughout his whole life, and I obviously like I wasn't like that, so I have like a lot to learn, and he is there to like help me learn, like which is super nice, because that can be really intimidating. Like, I mean, I'm 20 years old and like trying to learn something completely new that 20 billion people in this world, like, you know, have going on in their lives. So it's just kind of like, it can be intimidating, but it's nice to have that person who's there to answer questions, and kind of walk with me through that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.